When I just got admission to study pure and natural chemistry back then in 2012, I thought that reading long hours equals understanding, which now result to doing well in what in exam. What I don't understand here is that the difference between reading long hours and hours that are effective. Now, this is what I will do here. I will go to the library in the morning because I don't actually attend classes because the large majority of the class I attend, those lecturers don't actually explain to my understanding. So I consider myself going to that class as a waste. So instead of me going to that class, I would rather spend most of my time in the school library. Just as so at least I'm going by 9 or by 10 a.m. I'll come back in the evening, probably by 4 or 5. So I spend large majority of my time in the school library to study. Now, then once I get to the hostel, I'll just refreshen up, then probably rest a little bit. Then by 10 p.m. in the evening, I'll go back to the classroom to study in the night. Sometimes I'll stay in the classroom in the night from 10 p.m. to maybe probably 5 or 6 before I will now come back to my hostel and prepare and go to lectures. Now, some of you can relate to me here. You go to the class every single time, you do your assignments, you read, but yet you cannot actually retain what you study. You cannot actually retain what you read. And the amount of effort you are putting in, once you see results, you are not seeing the impact of what you are studying. It's not up to me. Just that I was thinking that putting much effort on all reading equals getting good results. But what I don't understand here is that there are certain ways to study, and there are specific time made for you to study. Once you study by this time, you will easily retain like 8 to 9% of what you study. I didn't know. So I was having the ambition to do well. Now that desire is there. I was going to put in I was going to read large hours, much hours, lengthy amount of hours, but yet I was not getting the kind of results I wish to get. So what is the problem here? So I discovered the problem, then I fix it, then my life improve. So these days, yeah, immediately I discovered this secret here, I no longer spend much hours in study. I don't no longer spend like 8 to 9 hours. As a matter of fact, student, you don't need those much hours. You get now you need just like 4 hours or 3 hours. 4 hours should be okay for you as a student to read 24 hours, like read and understand. You get then once you have mastered that one, yeah, once you have mastered your first 4 hours, then you can now go and add what extra 5 hours. But you're not reading because you want to read long hours because for you to understand. You are reading with the understanding of how to read, understand, and putting the right amount of effort in the right way. Just that so you are not just like putting much effort like that without getting any result. You know that any effort you are putting in, there you are actually what so it means that you're actually intentional about what you are to achieve. You know what work and you know what not work. So you're actually what intentional. So when I was doing my research, I discovered two things here. Now, my pattern of study, like the way I study, I was using passive study instead of what active study. Now, majority of students use passive study instead of active study. Now that is why when they read, they hardly retain what they study. And secondly, yeah, I discovered the timing. My timing I was using to study was really, really wrong. Now, a research showed that there's a perfect time to study, which I want to share with you. So make sure you watch this video to the end and try as much as possible to put these things to practice. Now just try to experiment them if they are going to work for you. Now these are things that work for me. That is why I'm sharing them with you. Now what I'm about to share with you here, I've transformed my life. I no longer read 8 9 hours again. I just read like 4 hours, and those 4 hours are very, very productive. You understand majority of the things I read. I set my goals and I achieve those goals during my study time session. Just now. So these are things I want to share with you. So make sure you watch to the end. Now, my first mistake that actually what prevented me to want to study effectively is my hours of study. Now, the time frame I study. Now, normally after my long stressful day, now when I get to the hostel, I'll just refreshing up. Then by 10 p.m. I will now go to the classroom to study. Right, and this is one of the most ineffective way, if I can put it like that, to study. Now, most times when I get to class by 10, I normally fall asleep. Then I will now wake up by 12 or 1 and try to study till 6. Now I can tell you that majority of those times, majority of those things I did that was just a waste. I was doing it out of ignorance. Just now. So I was watching a YouTube video when I come across the right time to study. The right time to sleep is between 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Just and the right time, the perfect time to study is between 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And you get the reason why. Now you see that now from that video I understood that by 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. this is when your body is telling you to sleep, right? Now if you check it very well, by 9 p.m. or by 10 p.m., once time gets to that evening time, this is when your body is telling you to go and sleep. Do you know the reason why? Now once time gets to 10 p.m., your brain releases an hormone that's called melatonin. Melatonin is that hormone or chemical that your brain releases into the bloodstream that regulates sleep and wake cycle. Melatonin level tends to increase when time gets to 10 p.m. Just so that is why you feel sleepy when time gets to 10 p.m. Now, our melatonin tends to decrease when time gets to what, 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. Just so that this is the wrong thing I used to do here. Now, when my body is starting to sleep, because I really want to study, I will not go and sleep. Rather, I will not force myself reading. Just so instead of me to obey my sleep cycle and wake cycle, I don't obey my sleep and wake cycle. I try to force myself, and you cannot force yourself to study. Once your body is starting to sleep, you better sleep. You understand? And once your body wakes up, now that is the perfect time to go and study. So now melatonin level tends to decrease by 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. So by the time you sleep by 10 p.m., by 2 a.m., sometimes you can wake up by 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. Just so when I discover this thing here, I no longer scare myself again. I don't longer go to night class. What I just do here is that by 10, before time it gets to 10 p.m., I've already set my goal of what I want to study in the night. Probably if it's mathematics, I've already know the topic I want to study in the night. So I will make sure I kept the detailed book down, the material I want to study, past question, put my books there, right? Then go to bed. Then by 2 a.m., once I get up, I'll just go and study. Now, here's the benefit here. Once you wake up by 2, your brain is still fresh. Study have shown that once you study between 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., between 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., now your brain is afresh. There are so many benefits here. Your brain is afresh. Your brain is sharp. Your brain can absorb information sharply, very fast, and retain any information. Then between that 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., anything study you easily understand. This is where you can easily understand complex idea. If you have not tried this time frame of study 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., try as much as possible to include it into your personal study routine time. Now, as a matter of fact, you should not be studying by 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. No, don't do that here. Rather, start studying from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Now, this is the word perfect time to study. And another good thing here is that when you wake up by 2 a.m. to study here, everybody is asleep. No, there's nobody to wake you up. There's nobody to disturb you. You understand? The room is very, very quiet. Probably you are the only one who study safe. So no distraction. You get so and anything you're going to study is going to be effective. You get anything you put your mind to achieve data is going to be effective. If there's any complex idea or any question you could not solve before, you're able to solve those questions within this time frame. So immediately I discovered this time frame of study, I started utilizing it. Now, when I started now reading from that 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., I will read two courses. I will read from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Read one course. Then from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. I read on that course, just all on that subject. So I actually divide it, and I actually have a specific topic I need to cover. So I give myself every goal. As I give myself goals to study. Like this is what I need to cover, and I make sure that I do my best to cover those things. You get. So that is why it's very important to set goals. Now, this was one of the mistakes I make. When I'm going to class, I don't have goals of what I want to study. I just go to class like I read any book. This is what most men do. Just and so you need to structure your reading pattern, right? Your reading schedule. Then know what exactly you want to. So before you go into your reading time session or your reading time, make sure you already know the course you want to cover and the topics you want to cover. That will give you clarity. That will make your brain stay focused and help you achieve what you want to achieve. Do you understand? So this is one of the way I solve my problem. Now, another thing, the second thing here my pattern of study. Before, I was reading passively. What do I mean by passively? I was reading, I was just reading. Probably, I would just be highlighting the text, or sometimes I would just jot down some key points. You understand? Now, I was not interacting with the text. If you read passively, you will hardly retain what you study. You understand? So here is active study. Active study means you are engaging with the text. You understand? You are not only reading, you are not only highlighting, but you are taking down important notes. You are taking important notes, my one. You are summarizing those paragraphs in your own words. Now, what you study and what you are studying, you are summarizing those what you read in your own words. But I can tell you that large majority of students don't do this here. Like me, when I said I didn't do it. I will just be reading like that, or I will just be copying notes. You understand? I don't even summarize it in my own words. Now, because if you summarize something in your own words, now it will reinforce what you understand. Just and this is what will make you to explain it or understand it better than when you read what you just read. Do you understand? Another thing is that I start questioning what I read. You understand? Was I read anything here? I will start deriving questions from those from what I read. I will ask myself, what are the possible questions they can ask here? So I'll start deriving questions. Do you understand? Now this one will make you to understand more and make me to retain 90% of what I studied because I'm questioning what I just read. I was I'm deriving question from it, and I'm also giving the answers. Another thing I did here is that I teach what I read to other persons. So now when I discovered that teaching the concept of what you have read to other persons will make you to understand more. That is when I now start teaching some of my close friends. So if I should read anything, either math, physics, or biology, I will try as much as possible to understand the stuff here and try to teach it to my friends. Just and that is why it is good you and your friends have study group. You understand? If you don't have study group as a student, then it's very, very wrong. You and your friend, like four, five, six friends, should come together and form a study group where you people will come together, read together. Then one can teach somebody here. One will explain the concept. Do you understand? This will help you a lot. So changing these two things here is what helped me. Today I've written about 5 to 6 books in chemistry. And I've taught a lot of students. Now I've taught a lot of students, yes, to pass chemistry very well. Now, what this will actually make me here is that I no longer stress myself reading long hours. I only read 4 hours, and those 4 hours are very, very well effective. And because I retain large majority of the things I read, now once I get into the exam look more easier for me now. Just like because I read and study in direction. I know exactly what I'm doing. Just unlike other students that don't even know what they're doing. So now, what have I explained to you in this video here? One, you need to activate active study. That is, you need to when you're reading, you need to summarize what you have read. Now you need to question what you have read. You need to teach the concept to others. Just now you need to like form your own notes. Yes, you need to form your own notes. This will make things more easier for you. And for physics and mathematics and chemistry, then you need to study the formulas. Then try as much as supposed to solve enough questions. Use those formulas so that you can understand this here. The more you solve questions, the more these things get used to you. Just that because as a person, when they finish studying, they will not go back to look at the formula and try as much as possible to use those formula to solve problems. This is the reason why large majority of students read and they don't understand. Just another thing here is that what I will share with you, always be constant in your study. Always be constant. Try as much as possible to be reading on a consistent basis. Not that today you read, tomorrow you will not read, next tomorrow you read. You are so inconsistent in your personal study. No, make it a routine to study every single day from that 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And whenever you study, always check as much as possible to summarize those notes and explain those notes in your own words, and try as much as possible to teach this concept to a close friend that will make you to understand better. Do you understand? I hope this video is helpful. If this video is helpful, please like and subscribe, and you can share this video to some of your other friends that would like to watch this video too. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.